Now we have 21 states in the $1 gasoline club. That's where the state average for regular is below $2 a gallon. All those states, 21 of them. Most people in America pretty much have access to under $2 gasoline. How about that? Here's the interest rate barometer we check every single day. Whoa, look at that. Down again. 1.81% is the interest on a 10-year Treasury bond. Historically, very low. Let's get to that story about the goodies that President Obama wants to just give away. How about paternal leave for federal workers? 6 weeks of it, fully paid. He wants to give that away. Paid sick leave for everybody, 1 week's worth. Give it away to everybody. Washington Times online opinion editor Monica Crowley is here. Look, Monica, I don't think any of this is actually going to pass muster in the Congress. But what the president is doing, this is my opinion, he's saying, we're going to give everybody all this good stuff. The Republicans are going to say, no, 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 you're not. And they look like the bad guys. Right.
They're going to be the grown-ups, and they're going to say, we can't afford this.
Precisely.
Paid sick leave. You know how much this is going to cost? According to estimates, probably a lowball estimate, $2.2 billion, Stuart,
now, hold
to
on a second.
assist the states.
Yeah, that's to assist the states.
Correct.
Produce their own, programs.
Correct.
It's employers that's going to have to pay for this sick leave.
Exactly. And then what are they going to do? Pass that along to consumers. So the ultimate cost is going to be borne by us. It's the same thing with the community college, the free community college. We all know in life there is nothing that's free. We all end up paying for it somehow. Yeah. But politically, you're right. What he's trying to do, and the left has done this for decades, is set up the Republicans as the mean party. You know, the party of no, the party of mean. Oh, you want to take away somebody's free community college? Look at these mean folks on the other side. They don't care about you. The Republicans really ought to get together with a coherent message to counter this kind of emotional, bogus appeal that always comes from this president and the left.
I'm going to drag Cheryl into this with a question which you may or may not wish to answer. Let's suppose that you work for a company which gives you 1 week of paid sick leave a year. Comes to the end of the year, gee, there's 4 days that you've not taken off. Wouldn't you take them off, whether you're sick or not, because you're going to get paid?
Personally, no, I would not.
But
since I'm on live television in the building I work for. But anyway, personally, I would not. But I do know of workers that do. Let's put it that way, absolutely. And I think if you're going to game the system in the workers' favor, in particular with that type of appeal, they're going to take it, absolutely.
Which hurts the productivity of the company, right? Because you have people who are not sick who are taking the time off because they're going to get paid anyway.
I tell you, it's just not going to fly. And the Republicans are going to say no. And I think rightfully, don't do it.
Yes.
Nothing much going on with the markets right now. That may change. You never know these days. So come on in. Art Laffer, former Reagan economic advisor. He's our economic guru. And I got to ask you, do you accept that title? I've got to ask you about the global economy. I look around the world. I see interest rates falling to historic lows everywhere. I see prices falling in Europe and in Japan. I see currencies tumbling, falling out of bed. Is it bad enough over there to drag us down over here?
Well, whenever they do poorly, Stuart, it doesn't help us. I mean, we're always benefited whenever they do well. But they're doing all the policies we did a couple of years ago, and they're experiencing the same results we did. You know, a poor man can't spend himself into wealth, and you sure as heck can't tax or inflate an economy into prosperity. It just doesn't happen, and they're doing all those mistakes. The one that's really interesting is I understand the Swiss franc was released today, and pow, did it go up against the euro. So at least there's one country that's doing the right thing.
Well, if you put money into a Swiss bank, they charge you money to
Isn't
keep
that amazing?
it. That's called a negative interest rate. I mean, there's so much turmoil. A lot of people think, goodness me, we must be spiraling down to some really amazing, catastrophic world event. You see that?
Well, I don't see a catastrophic world event, but we are not rising the way we should have, Stuart. I mean, we had the worst recession depression since the Great Depression in 2008-9, and our recovery has been dismal. I mean, really dismal, the worst recovery ever, and especially when you give the fact that it was the biggest decline ever. So we have not gone back to our previous positions by any means. And, you know, the longer this waits, the more it becomes embedded and more it becomes permanent.
You were the guy who said when the Republicans sweep last November,
Yes.
Up goes the economy. We'll start to have some real growth. Up goes the stock market. What happened to your economic forecast?
Oh, but I think that's true. I think we will be up. I mean, we're not going to go to the levels we should be if we'd never had the W and Obama Great Recession. But we're going to come back. I mean, these policies, I mean, all the ones you just talked about and you said would not get passed. You're completely correct. 8 years ago, 6 years ago, they would have been passed. They won't get passed now. So we're not going to go further down. And I think the economy looks, I mean, in long term looks great. I think we're going to get a good president. We've got a great Congress now. And once we get the Obama administration out of there, I think we're good. Our goal is the moon. I mean, we can go anywhere.
Well, how about the stock market? You've dealt with the economy. How about the market? We're at
I think the market will do very well. I'm very much invested in the market, and I personally am quite optimistic about the stock market. I think the future of our country looks very good. I mean, relative to all the other countries, of course, it looks great. But I think it looks absolutely good as well. And with this Republican House and Senate, I think we're going to be able to stop a lot of bad bills and pass some really good ones.
But I got to press you on this because there's an awful lot of people who say President Obama in 6 years has so changed things, done so much damage, that it's going to take years to get out of it. But you don't seem to share that.
Oh, no, it does take years to get out of it totally. It doesn't take years to turn it around and start getting out of it. I mean, if you looked at what I like to refer to as the Four Stooges, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Carter, when we came into office in January 1981, I mean, we'd had 16 years of absolutely the largest bipartisan ignorance done on planet Earth. It took us a while to get out. We had the 81-82 period that was bad, but then the rocket ship started, and it lasted, I mean, until 2000, Stuart. I mean, these things take a long time to turn around, but we are well in the midst of a big turnaround, and I think it continues for a long time.
Ah, isn't it great to put this guy on TV on a Thursday morning? They're out there waking up in Hawaii, waking up in California. What have they got? Art Laffer saying, the good times are here again.
Just don't you agree? Don't you agree with me, Stuart? Seriously. You're always optimistic, too.
I worry. I am an optimist. I really am. And I think we can get back to some serious growth. But, you know, I'm just worried that the damage is so profound, especially to the way we think about our society, our economy, and where it's going. I think maybe so much damage has been done, it's going to take a long time.
Do you remember the days in the late 1970s and the same thoughts were there? I mean, Jimmy Carter was as bad as they get. And you had all these programs being the National Energy Plan and all this stuff going on. It was that same depression. And then all of a sudden, the skies cleared, the light shone on the planet, and Reagan was nominated, elected. We had a great Congress. And, I mean, then we started this really beautiful ride. I see the congressional elections, which we talked about, as being very bullish. And I think the Democrats are going to switch. I mean, look at Joe Manchin. You don't get a better senator than Joe Manchin. And he's a Democrat. I mean, you're going to see a lot of these changes coming in our direction.
All right. Okay. Just remember, Art Laffer is a good friend of Al Gore. Okay, we're all done.
That's true.
Very much
That is true.
We will see you soon. I got some big names.